So let's take a quick look at what's new in the ski boot world for 2025. Now, first cab off the rank is Tecnica. Now, Tecnica this year have jumped on the BOA hype train and included the BOA closure system onto their Max Sport series of boots. Now, the Max Sport is their higher volume, more mid-range alpine style of boot, and it's the only one that they've decided to go with. So we may see this actually expand further into their range in the coming years, but for this year, this is the only update we see with Tecnica. Then with Nautica, they have also jumped on the bandwagon, including the BOA into their Speed Machine boot. Now, along with this, Nautica have also produced an updated version of their rear entry with the HF Pro. Now, this HF Pro actually gets a stiffer spine, a cable closure system up front, and also a little bit narrower 100mm last. Now, I'm not sure if this was an addition that was required into this series of boots, but it will give someone wanting that rear entry style a little bit more performance out of it. Then we have Atomic adding a new boot to their lineup with the Hawx Magna Extended. So I think this will actually be a much loved hybrid style boot with a higher volume fit. So really one that's going to include a lot more people into a hybrid boot that need that extra space. So a huge addition to Atomic's boot lineup there. Then we have Salomon, and Salomon looks like they have completely rebuilt their Shift boot. Now this is now called the Shift Alpha BOA, and as the name suggests, they've included the BOA on the lower shell, but what's interesting and different is the top of the cable now feeds through a strap, which looks like it's going to draw it in on more of an angle as it closes. Now along with this, they've also rebuilt the touring mechanism on the back, which looks a lot more oversized and is said to give a way more solid connection when in ski mode. Now also they've included more forwards articulation on the stride, so extra range of motion and better touring when you're on the skin track in this rebuilt Shift. And it looks like they've also added 2 new S Pro race models in the lineup. So this is just really a beefier S Pro for people looking to do some nice aggressive skiing on piste. Dalbello are expanding their Cabrio series of boots, now with the Cabrio MV and Max. Now this is replacing the Pantera series of boots, and what they're doing is taking away the walk mode and essentially having that solid 3-piece boot in both a medium volume 101 and a high volume 103 option. Along with this, they still do keep that hybrid or touring model with the Cabrio Free MV in that medium 101 last. Lang have rebuilt their RS boot. Now what they're promoting on this new RS is just how aerodynamic the new build is. That's quite an interesting take to optimize a boot for cutting through the wind in a better manner. So pretty cool, I guess, take on things there. But what's really new on this RS is the flex adjustment. So on the back of the boot, they've taken cues from the Shadow, and rather than just relying on the bolts to fine tune your flex rating, you now have a PU or carbon spine that you can swap between to give this boot a different reaction as you ski it. K2 have introduced a new Pro model boot with the Carl Phosfed Pro. Now basically this is sort of like a bring back boot to where you're getting the stiffest flex tongue, also matched with the full Intuition wrap line. So old is new again, but new colors, and also promoting one of the best guys on the team with the new Carl Pro boot. Also another new boot for K2 is the Mindbender 140. Now this has the BOA closure system on the lower shell, but also they have a BOA on their Intuition wrap liner in this boot. So I'm really interested to see that and try out this liner with that as a closure system on the liner alone. It looks like a bit of a weapon, and I think this could be a pretty cool, solidly skiing hybrid boot from K2. I've also seen pictures of a new Scarpa boot with the Quattro in a 130 flex. Could be cool. Dynafit have just dropped their Ridge boot. Now this looks to be another one developed in collaboration with Hoji, and one of the cool concepts built into it is this floating tongue on top. Now this floating tongue actually moves back and forth when you're climbing the boot for a lot of articulation and a real freedom of movement. But when you're doing up the buckle and you lock it into place, this then secures the tongue back and locks everything down along with that Hoji lock mechanism on the back. So it is a lighter weight boot, but it still has very good skiability by the looks of all the concepts built in. There is a cable closure system on top of the tongue as well. And one thing about this is there's two options. You either get the fiberglass infused Grilamid with the regular ridge, or you can go the carbon infused with the Pro model. Another boot entering the touring market is from Head, and they have a new one called the Crux. Now, I haven't seen a lot of details on this one yet, but with Head, their quality is always super good. So I'm interested to see what they bring to the table with now a very touring-focused boot, getting away from the core, going to something more lighter weight with a true touring sole designed to go with their new touring binding. And that is pretty much everything I've been able to find. So nothing completely mind-blowing or super new tech being released for 2025, but a few notable upgrades and a couple of little innovations that are rolling through. Unless you think I've missed anything, is there anything notable that I should have talked about which I haven't seen? Please let me know in the comments. But other than that, thanks for watching, stay rad, be a patriot. Signing out.